happening, Couch to CrossFitters? Coach Allie coming at you with your next workout of the day, or your WOD. Today's workout of the day is a classic style chipper WOD. What a chipper means is that you generally have a lot of movements, got 6 movements here, and a lot of reps, and you will literally chip away at it, thus chipper. So your first movement today, you have 100 reps of high knees. Now you can either do this as a single count or a double count. If you're doing the single count, left will equal 1 rep, right will equal another. So it looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is your single count, all right? If you want to make the high knees movement a little bit harder for yourself, you can do what's called a double count, where your left and your right will equal 1 rep. Looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. All the way up to 100, using either that single or that double count if you want to make it harder. Now, if you have to modify those high knees, not everyone can get their knees this high, you can just bring your hands down to whatever level you need. So I might start here and then maybe gradually come down here. All right, so do whatever level of hands you need that will suit you the best. Once you're done with your 100 high knees, you're gonna go to 80 jumping jacks. The jumping jack, right like so, 2, 3, 4. If you want to make the jumping jack movement just a little bit harder, you can add weights to it. So I would start, if you're doing it with weights, start a little slower just so you get the rhythm of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those were 5-pound weights. Personally, I wouldn't go any higher than that, only because it tends to be a little precarious on that shoulder if you're doing it too fast. So jumping jacks, 80 reps with or without weight if you wanted to make it harder. Next, the overhead press. You're gonna do 60 reps of an overhead press, also known as a strict press. If I do this with 2 dumbbells, I'm gonna start with these dumbbells, 1 hex, right on my shoulders here. I'm gonna squeeze my core, squeeze my midline, make sure my spine's nice and straight. I'm gonna bring these up, make sure my head's not moving, back down. So a couple reps here, right like so. Now if you only have 1 object, you can do this overhead press with 1 object. You will hold right at the sides of your object, move your head back, bring this forward, and push the head through. So we'll see a couple reps with 1 object. And if you have an odd object, I have my weighted backpack here. I'm gonna hold the backpack right at the sides, and I'm gonna do this the same way that I did the 1 object dumbbell. So I'm gonna get my head out of the way, bring this up, push my head through. So we'll show you a couple reps, that overhead press with an odd object. All right, once you are done with your 60 overhead presses, you are gonna go to 40 reps of air squats. Now your air squat, my feet are gonna be shoulder width apart. Your toes are gonna be slightly turned out. Whatever angle you have those toes at, that is what angle your knees will follow. So your knees track over your toes. First thing I'm gonna do, just like with every other movement, I'm gonna get that core, my spine nice and straight, my core is tight. My hands are just there as a counterbalance. I'm gonna push my butt back and descend to the bottom of this squat. Now this is a full range of motion squat. My hip crease is below my knee crease. From here, I'm gonna push through my feet. I'm gonna pretend like I'm pushing that floor away and stand, making sure my hips open all the way at the top, or I'm coming to full extension at the top. So a couple reps of an air squat, butt back, down, butt back, down. If you have to modify the air squat, if you can't get low enough, you can squat either to a target or to wherever your body will allow you to squat. So if I squat to this bench here, it's probably about the height of a kind of like a chair that you would have on your dining room table. I'm gonna do the same thing. My feet are shoulder width apart, push my butt back, come down until I can feel this bench and pop up. Really limiting that range of motion, but if this is where we're squatting to for now, that's totally fine. If you don't have an object to squat to, you can also just do this here, stopping yourself wherever you need to. Now, on the air squat, one last note on that air squat. We do not want to do what's called bottoming out. Bottoming out means I'm at my lowest point, my absolute lowest, butt to the ground, almost touching the ground. So, if I'm here, full range of motion, I have plenty of tension. My hamstrings are engaged, my glutes are engaged, my core is tight. I can easily stand up from here. But if I go past this point, you can see I'm totally relaxed. I've got a little curvature in my spine. I have no engagement in my hamstring, my glutes, my quads. My core's not engaged. I've let everything go. And usually from here, I've got to really put a lot of stress on the knees and bounce out of it. So it's a difference of here and here. We do not want to do that. Always stop here with the hip crease under the knee crease. All right, after your 40 reps of an air squat, you're going to 20 reps of bird dogs. Bird dog, you're going to be on all fours, knees on the ground, hands on the ground. I'm going to show you this from the side. So I'm looking directly in front of me. I don't want my spine to do this. I'm not extending my spine. I'm also not flexing my spine. I've got my core engaged, my spine's nice and straight, my back is flat. A bird dog is just opposite arm, opposite leg, coming out. Right, like so. Your bird dogs today are gonna be a single count. So left will be 1, right will be 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want to make the bird dogs harder, just like with the high knees, you'll do that double count where left and right equals 1 rep. Left, right, 1, 2, 3. That's that double count if you want to make those bird dogs harder. Finally, after your 20 bird dogs, you're going to go to 10 English burpees. The English burpees are a little unique. You are not doing a push-up. You are not bringing your body all the way to the ground. So, an English burpee, I'm going to start by bringing my hands on the ground. You can either kick your feet back, come back, stand, or you can bring your hands to the ground and step your feet back in, come up to the ground. Now the burpee's gonna finish with a jump, arms overhead. So if I do a English burpee with a kickback, the full movement will look like so. Right like that. If you cannot jump, you can just stand with your arms overhead before going back into that next English burpee. That is your workout of the day. 100 reps of high knees, 80 reps of jumping jacks, 60 reps of overhead presses, 40 air squats, 20 bird dogs, 10 English burpees. Remember, everything single count, or if you want to make it a double count on those high knees. Bird dogs, please feel free. Jumping jacks with or without weight. Lots of modifications to suit you guys. Have fun.